Good day, class. In this video, we are going to continue the discussion on the flavors. In the previous videos, we have introduced the actions of the pungent and the bitter. From this video, we're going to start with the sweet. Sweet can tonify, can moderate, can harmonize. Because of the sweet can tonify, so we can use in a deficiency syndrome. What kinds of deficiency? It can be used in qi deficiency, blood deficiency. Sorry, here 血 is a Chinese translation. It means blood or Chinese pronunciation. It also can be used in yin deficiency and yang deficiency. So actually, a sweet herb can be used for all kinds of deficiency. Qi, blood, yin and yang deficiency. In other words, when you diagnose a patient with the syndrome of deficiency syndrome, then you can look for the herb with a sweet flavor, because sweet can tonify, can be used in a deficiency syndrome. For example, in qi deficiency, we can use 人参. 人参, when you see the English name, it's quite famous. 人参 is in English it called ginseng. Blood, 阿胶. Yin deficiency, 熟地. Yang deficiency, 鹿茸. For example, a patient suffers from feverish sensation, or such as the menopause. The patient always have hot flashes. Then you can use 熟地, because 熟地 has the taste of sweet. A patient suffers from dysmenorrhea, suffer from cold limbs, cold hands and feet. Then you can use 鹿茸, because 鹿茸 can tonify yang. Sweets also can moderate the emergency, such as cramp. So cramp or spasm. So in this situation, you can use some herbs with sweet, especially for muscle spasm. So in this situation, you can use some herb with a sweet flavor. Can moderate the pain, so you can relieve the pain. Moderate. Sweet can harmonize. It can harmonize the middle jiao, which means can harmonize the spleen and stomach function. So it can be used for digestive problems such as 麦芽. It can harmonize the property of different herbs. So in a formula, we sometimes add a sweet herb such as 甘草 to harmonize, to make the property or the action of the herbs smoother, such as 代黄, 甘穗. This 甘穗 is a toxic herb. We also use 甘草 to harmonize, relieve the toxic parts. For example, dysmenorrhea, the painful menstruation. This is one of the most common symptoms in female. And what you can do in dysmenorrhea, there are many causes can result in dysmenorrhea, but the most common causes due to cold condition or due to yang deficiency result in internal coldness, or qi and blood stagnation. What you can do in this situation, you can use a decoction called ginger brown sugar decoction. So you use ginger, you use the brown sugar. These two ingredients, ginger, warm. So you can use in a cold syndrome. Ginger also pungent. Pungent can activate. When you see the activates qi and blood. Sugar is, so here's a wrong spelling. Sugar sweets, pungent sweets can create yang. So this is a law in Chinese medicine. When you want to harmonize, when you want to create yang, you can use herbs or different herbs with the flavor of pungent and sweet. Pungent and sweets can, when you put together, they can create yang. So it can be used for yang deficiency. Sweets also can mitigate the pain, so can relieve the pain. Now when you see the results, this decoction, although there are only 2 ingredients, ginger and sugar, it can be used for cold syndrome, can activate qi, can activate blood, can use for yang deficiency, can stop the pain. That's why this decoction is quite useful and quite helpful for dysmenorrhea. A lady suffer from a painful menstruation, they can always have this herb, this decoction. How to prepare the decoction? You use 3 to 5 slices of fresh ginger. You can have a bigger slices, and then you put, in the pot. You add some water. You add the brown sugar, and then you're going to cook them. You're going to keep boiling for 10 to 15 minutes, and then afterwards, you're going to drink the decoction. You're going to drink the tea. So this can help you to relieve the pain. Why the ginger and the sugar can help you to relieve the pain? That's because ginger have the property of warm and pungent. Sugar have the property of sweet. When you put them together, it can help in a cold syndrome, in qi stagnation, and blood stagnation, yang deficiency syndrome. You also can relieve the pain immediately. So that's the most common causes of dysmenorrhea. Also from this formula. So ginger brown sugar is a formula. When you also from this formula, you will see that the food and the herbal medicine, you can't separate them. Ginger is food. Ginger also a herbal medicine. Brown sugar we also use as a herbal medicine. If you use in a Chinese medicine, if you use under the guidelines of Chinese medicine. So ginger, brown sugar. Also from here, you will see there's no clear line between the food and herbal medicine. In future, we're also going to introduce how to use the food as herbal medicine, kind of food therapy. Sour. Sour can astringe, can restrain the lung to stop the coughing, astringe the intestine to stop diarrhea. Astringe, sometimes it's hard to understand what kinds of function is astringe. So you can think in the other way. What kinds of function is not astringe? Dispersing. Dispersing means something move outwards. So move around. Astringe the lung. If the lung qi move around, it move out of the lung, the patient will have the cough. So if the qi move outwards, excess qi move outwards, the patient may have cough. The intestine, if the qi in the intestine move around, the patient may have excessive movement in the intestine, cause diarrhea. So you can use a sour herb, a herb with sour taste, or a sour flavor. So the flavor, not only the taste, also refers to the action to stop the diarrhea. The sour also can restrain, reinforcing superficial to restrain to stop sweating, and to stop spermatoria uresis, metamateria leukorrhage. So these are all to stop something moving away from the body. For example, 五味子. This is herbs with the sour, sweet, and warm property. Sour can astringe the lung, so we can use for coughing. Sour also can astringe the intestine, so we can use for diarrhea. Sour can astringe the spermatoria, so we can use for male's problem. Sweet and sour, this is another law. So pungent and sweet can create yang. Sweet sour can create yin. So this herb can relieve thirst due to yin deficiency, or we don't have enough body fluids in the body. So that's also yin. So sweet and sour can create yin. It also can be used for malaise due to yin deficiency, or palpitation due to hot yin deficiency. It's because sweet and sour can create yin and used for yin deficiency. The last flavor, salty. Salty can purge and can soften. Can purge, so salty can cause diarrhea. Can be used for patients with constipation. Salty also can soften the stool, also can benefit the constipation. The soften also can soften the lumps. So we can use for tumors, can use for abnormal glands, such as the thyroid problem, the mammary glands. For example, there's one herb called mangxiao. Mangxiao, salty, bitter, cold. Salty can soften the stool. Bitter can purge the heat, can clear the heat. Also, the cold condition also can clear the heat. Purge also can activate the qi, can purge qi. So this herb can be used for constipation due to heat, especially with dry and hard stool, because the salty taste or salty flavor can soften the stool. Another example, 牡蛎, the oyster shell. It's actually processed, so it's not the oyster shell that you buy from the supermarket. It's the same material but processed. So the 牡蛎, oyster shell, salty, astringent, slightly cold. Salty can soften, so you can use for abnormal lumps. Astringent can astringe, such as the patient with excess sweating. A patient suffers from spermatoria. A patient suffers from diarrhea. We can stop them using a herbs with astringent. Muli, also cold, slightly cold and heavy. So slightly cold, it can relieve the heat, especially something heavy. Something very heavy can move something downwards. So it can help to reduce the hyperactive liver yang. Liver yang rebellion is actually another way to say hyperactive liver yang. so it can clear the lower heat. That's the function of Muli. Astringent and sour are similar.